In an age ruled by men, she rose, not by birthright alone, but by resilience, brilliance, and sheer force of will. She was born a princess, declared illegitimate, imprisoned by her own sister, and doubted by nearly every man around her. And yet, she would become the monarch who ushered in England's golden age. This is the story of Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen, the last Tudor, and arguably England's most iconic ruler. This is the rise of Elizabeth I. Chapter 1. A tumultuous birth, 1533. Elizabeth was born on September 7, 1533, to King Henry VIII and his second wife, Anne Boleyn. The king had broken from the Catholic Church just to marry Anne, hoping she would deliver a male heir. But when she gave birth to a girl, disappointment shadowed the celebration. Despite being born a princess, Elizabeth's life was instantly complicated. Just 3 years later, her mother, Anne Boleyn, was arrested, accused of adultery, and executed. Elizabeth, not yet 4, was declared illegitimate. Cut to young Elizabeth in simple clothes, looking out a castle window stripped of her title, removed from the line of succession. Elizabeth was cast aside, but not forgotten. Her intelligence and poise caught the attention of many in court, even those who saw her as a political threat. Chapter 2. Surviving the Tudor court. The Tudor court was a dangerous place, filled with scheming nobles, ambitious relatives, and unpredictable monarchs. Elizabeth would grow up under the reign of 3 different rulers: her younger half-brother Edward VI, her elder half-sister Mary I, and for a time, the influence of powerful regents. Educated in Latin, Greek, French, and Italian, Elizabeth was one of the most learned women of her time. But it wasn't just academics that shaped her, it was politics. When Edward VI died in 1553, England plunged into chaos. A plot to install Lady Jane Grey as queen failed, and Mary, Henry's eldest daughter, became Queen Mary I, the first reigning queen of England. But Mary was a devout Catholic. Elizabeth, raised Protestant, became a symbol of opposition. Suspected of involvement in Wyatt's rebellion, a Protestant uprising, Elizabeth was imprisoned in the Tower of London. For 2 months, her life hung in the balance. She denied all involvement, and eventually Mary released her. But the experience would haunt Elizabeth forever. Trust would never come easily again. Chapter 3. The accidental heir. Mary's reign was marked by religious persecution and political missteps, earning her the nickname Bloody Mary. Her marriage to Philip II of Spain, a powerful Catholic monarch, was unpopular. She failed to produce an heir. As Mary's health declined, all eyes turned to Elizabeth. She was next in line, the Protestant daughter of Henry VIII. And on November 17, 1558, Mary died. At age 25, Elizabeth ascended the throne. England, weary from years of turmoil, held its breath. Elizabeth reportedly said, "This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes." And so began one of the most celebrated reigns in English history. Chapter 4. The Virgin Queen takes command. Elizabeth inherited a kingdom deeply divided by religion, financially strained, and politically vulnerable. But she was no ordinary ruler. From the start, Elizabeth made it clear she would rule in her own right. She surrounded herself with capable advisors, the most notable being William Cecil, her chief minister and lifelong confidant. One of her first acts was the Elizabethan religious settlement, a moderate approach that re-established the Church of England, yet allowed some flexibility in worship. It was a masterstroke. While not pleasing everyone, it avoided outright civil war. She navigated the expectations of Parliament, who pressed her to marry. But Elizabeth defied them all, choosing to remain single. "I am married to England," she declared. Thus, the legend of the Virgin Queen was born, a symbol of independence and national pride. Chapter 5. Challenges from within and without. But Elizabeth's reign was far from peaceful. Religious tensions remained. Catholics viewed her as illegitimate. Plots to overthrow her, including those backed by foreign powers, emerged frequently. At the center of many conspiracies was her cousin, Mary, Queen of Scots, a Catholic claimant to the English throne. After years of political maneuvering, Mary was imprisoned in England. In 1586, she was implicated in the Babington Plot, a plan to assassinate Elizabeth and place Mary on the throne. The evidence was undeniable. It was not a decision Elizabeth took lightly, but on February 8, 1587, Mary was executed. The Queen had eliminated her greatest internal threat, but now faced a greater one from abroad. Chapter 6. The Spanish Armada, 1588. In response to Mary's execution and England's Protestant stance, King Philip II of Spain launched an all-out invasion. The Spanish Armada, a fleet of over 130 ships, carrying 30,000 men, set sail for England. It was the most powerful navy the world had ever seen. But Elizabeth, ever the master of image and morale, took command of her people. Reenactment. Tilbury Speech, 1588. I know I have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king, and of a king of England too. With fireships, naval strategy, and a stroke of divine weather luck, the English navy repelled the Armada. The victory became a turning point, solidifying Elizabeth's legacy as a warrior queen. Chapter 7. The Golden Age of England. Following the Armada, England entered a period of unprecedented cultural and political prosperity. This was the Elizabethan Golden Age. Art, music, and especially literature flourished. William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, and Ben Jonson produced timeless works. Exploration surged under men like Sir Francis Drake and Sir Walter Raleigh. The foundations of the British Empire were being laid. Elizabeth fostered this spirit of discovery. Though cautious by nature, she encouraged trade, colonization, and the growth of the navy. Her court became known for its brilliance, its pageantry, and its complexity, where political intrigue danced alongside poetry and song. Chapter 8. The Final Years. Legacy of a Queen. But no reign lasts forever. In her final years, Elizabeth faced personal loss. Her closest advisors and friends passed away. She never married and bore no children, a conscious choice, but one that left her increasingly alone. In 1603, after 44 years on the throne, Queen Elizabeth I died peacefully at the age of 69. With her, the Tudor dynasty ended, but her legacy was just beginning. Chapter 9. Why Elizabeth still matters. So why does Elizabeth I still capture our imagination? Because she defied the odds. She ruled with a blend of charm and cunning, elegance and intellect. In a world where women were expected to be silent, she roared. She kept England safe, made it prosperous, and helped forge a national identity rooted in pride, independence, and cultural greatness. She mastered the art of being underestimated and turned it into her greatest weapon. Closing scene. Montage of Elizabethan England and the Queen's portraits. The Virgin Queen never wed, never shared her throne, and never gave up power. And for that, she remains not just a monarch, but a legend. This has been the rise of Elizabeth I, England's most iconic monarch. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you'd like us to cover more legendary rulers from history. Until next time, rule boldly.